two AI stocks that are primed and poised to ride the next biggest wave in AI. As AI shifts to this next model, this next phase, these are the two stocks that stand to benefit the biggest. Also, on top of this, I'm going to share with you a major Wall Street figure and her investment in these two AI stocks and how she's investing. One of them is going to emerge as the clear winner, and that's what we're going to talk about towards the end of the video. I'm going to tell you which one I think is the best AI stock investment in this capacity moving forward. Okay, so what we're talking about here is the prime Wall Street figure is Cathie Wood. If you do not know who Cathie Wood is, you should definitely look her up. She is the CEO of ARK Invest, arguably, in my opinion, one of the better Wall Street firms out there. And every time she makes a move, it is looked at and analyzed what she's doing and what her company's doing as far as the stocks that she's investing in, and quite frankly, the stocks that she's selling. Okay, so Cathie has trimmed her AMD stake to add the second inference stock. So the two stocks we're going to talk about are AMD and Cerebras. These two stocks stand at the heart of the next wave of AI and its deployment. Okay. And we're moving into the inference stage as well as obviously the agentic stage of AI. Okay. We'll talk a bit more about that, but it's AMD's chips that stand to benefit from this move into inference and then ultimately agentic. Okay. Because NVIDIA's chips are much more built for the previous kind of AI, LLM, large language modeling scenarios that we've been doing for the last couple of years. And it's AMD's chips that are set to really take advantage of and work better for the inference and the agentic models that we're moving forward with. Okay. So we're going to talk about AMD and we're going to talk about Cerebras. And again, at the end of it, we're going to talk about which is more the better, really the better AI stock to own if you were going to invest in just one as an example. Okay, kind of moving on. Okay, so AMD has been a huge winner for Cathie Wood and her company. It is her second largest holding of stocks in total. She is not selling it. She is just trimming that stake just a little bit and then has moved that money into investing in Cerebras, which just had its IPO. And so we'll take a look at Cerebras. Since its IPO, it's down 22%. So if you decided you wanted to pick some up today, you're getting it at a 22% discount. The ticker is CBRS. You can see it right there. And obviously, everybody pretty much knows AMD. AMD is beginning to definitely move up and really start to take advantage of. You can see, look at this massive swing up here. It used to trade in around the 202 region, and now it's all the way up trading at that 505. Last month, it's up 60+%. Year, it's up 59%. A different look at it. Look at this. This right here. Like buy here, sell, buy. Look at this. This is a fantastic looking chart. It's crazy. In the last 63 days, it's up 164%. By the way, that is my software, my trading indicator. They gave a buy alert. That's that green box is a buy alert, sell alert, buy, sell. All those leading up in 63 days to give you 164% return on investment. The software runs on your iPhone, runs on Android, runs on computer. It's literally about $1 a day to use it. And it tells you when to buy and when to sell any and every stock out there. It gives you the perfect time to buy, perfect time to sell. Why? So that you can lock in and make the most profit possible. Put that in your bank account. It literally costs about $1 a day. There's a link in the description below. There's also a 30-day no questions asked money back guarantee. So definitely take advantage of that. Give it a look. Okay. So as we talked about, Cathie is making significant movements and putting some money into Cerebras, but she's again not selling her stake in AMD. Okay, so let's take a look at this kind of as I talked about. AMD is much better positioned for inference than AI LLM model training, which is really what NVIDIA is primed for. Now, NVIDIA is not going to give up. They're definitely they're building a new line of chips and all that kind of stuff that are going to they're going to be part of and can do this inference and agentic AI. Okay. So continuing on, let's talk really bit about right here. Okay, AMD already has two large $100 billion GPU commitments in place that should help drive strong future growth. Pretty significant. Also believed that Anthropic is going to begin using AMD's newest GPUs for inference as well. There's a huge opportunity in the data central processing unit CPU market. The ratio of GPUs to CPUs is narrowing quickly in this market with the rise of agentic AI, which needs more CPU. There's inference AI and agentic AI. Both of those models need and benefit from the chip architecture that AMD has. Okay. So the ratio of chips is looking like it has been 8-to-1, 8 GPUs. Basically, think of the types of chips from NVIDIA to one chip from like a CPU to an AMD, like an AMD model. And then, but as it moves, it's 4-to-1 for inference and 1-to-1 for agentic. So you can see that is coming down. So even if they decide they want to deploy more GPUs in a given data center, they have to ultimately deploy the same amount of CPUs from AMD to facilitate all of that computer processing so that it runs at its peak. Okay, CPUs cost about 1/10 of the price of GPUs. GPUs are NVIDIA, CPUs are AMD, just to kind of keep that clear. That's a really simple oversimplification, but there you go. It's still a market that is set to see explosive growth. AMD is the current leader in the space, CPUs. AMD recently pegged this as a $120 billion opportunity in the coming years, while NVIDIA themselves said it could reach $200 billion, this CPU. And as that ratio changes from 8-to-1 to 4-to-1 to 1-to-1 for agentic, and then ultimately for an inference and agentic, respectively. Okay. So let's shift and talk about Cerebras. So Cerebras just went IPO. We know that, right? They're down 22%. I have bought a little bit of Cerebras. Now, I didn't go all in. I didn't push all my chips into it because I think, again, we have to see how this plays out. And this is going to give you a little insight into kind of how they go about it. So they have a big opportunity in the inference market. However, taking decidedly different approach. Inference tends to be much more bound by memory than computing power. Okay. That's why AMD's GPUs, which can be packaged with more high bandwidth memory, HBM, than NVIDIA's GPUs, look well suited for the inference AI market. Okay, so Cerebras, on the other hand, instead of packing its chips with HBM, Cerebras uses SRAM, static random access memory, built directly onto its chips. All right, but here's where the interesting part gets. The processors from Cerebras are 15 times the inference speeds compared to leading GPUs, even from AMD. However, SRAM requires a lot of space. And as a result, Cerebras's chips are physically huge compared to GPUs. Think of them, they're almost the size of like a plate, okay? At the size of an entire wafer, Cerebras's chips are much more complex and expensive to make and more prone to defects, which it mitigates by adding extra cores to be able to navigate around. They also need special cooling and power management, which is why the company sells or rents them only as a part of its complete end-to-end server system. Okay, interesting. So look, Cerebras is a real player. They are. But if I was to only pick one, as I told you at the top of the video, I would pick AMD. AMD seems to be the leader in the clubhouse. It's going to be easier to drop their technology into existing AI data centers. It is suited for inference and agentic. Cerebras, completely different way of going about it. Much larger chips, size of a wafer, if you will, small plate, if you will. Has heat issues, things of this nature. Hasn't really been deployed in major deployments, whereas AMD is already being deployed to take advantage of and to facilitate these new next big waves of AI, inference and agentic AI. And all of that's there. So I'm gonna put more of my money on AMD, just kind of like Kathy Wood, the CEO of ARC, has done here. And yes, she trimmed a little bit of her AMD holdings to invest, to take some profits and put it into Cerebras. I understand that, which is essentially kind of what I've already done as well. Like, I've invested a little bit into Cerebras, but I'm definitely, if I had to lay all my money on one, I would lay it on the AMD side, because of everything we've talked about in this video. So I think that AMD is going to be the leader out there to 100 million% take advantage of inference and agentic AI, the next big waves coming. Now, NVIDIA is not going to take this laying down. They are already developing and have developed a new CPU, essentially chip, to compete with AMD. But AMD has longer runway than them, because they've been producing these types of chips for much longer periods of time. Okay. So again, do I still own NVIDIA? Absolutely. They're not going anywhere, right? They're going to continue to be here. But I think that AMD is going to be poised to take advantage of all of these additional data center spend dollars, that's going to be coming. Okay. So, all right. I told you earlier, look, about a way that you can make even more money trading stocks. I'm going to ask you a question. How would you like to have made 164% on AMD? Well, here it is right here. I'm showing it to you live, how you could have done it. In the last 63 days, you could have known when to buy and sell everything having to do with AMD and made 164%. Put that in perspective. $1,000 bought at the beginning of this and then now sold would have made you an additional $1,644. Yeah, just off that $1,000 investment. How much would that have changed your life? Okay. There's a link below in the description to take you here. This is my site, x1algo.com. I spent over $30,000 developing this software and have continued to invest in it over the years. In fact, I just made an additional $20,000 investment in it to bring in even more insane capabilities to it. And you get it today for about $1 a day, a little bit more than $1 a day, like $1.10. It's a 30-day, no questions asked, money back guarantee, all that kind of stuff. Okay, not convinced? Look, here's Dell. Look at this. 8 days ago, software gave a buy alert right there. You see that green box? That's a buy alert. And then Dell, boom, right after that took off. 8 days, 80%. It told you to buy before Dell took off, because all of the trading data it looks at continues to analyze every single hour of every single day. It said it's the right time to buy right before it took off. That was Dell, 80% move up. Here's another one. Okay. Nebius Group. Look at this one. So there's a buy to a sell all the way up here. 31 days, 67%. See in this box right here. Here's Rigetti. We talk about Rigetti on this channel a lot. Right here, boom, from there to there, 2 days, 61%. And you can see right here, right now, Rigetti is going kind of sideways. It's consolidating. Okay, and I gave you the best one, AMD. That's a great example. Okay, so look, take a look at it. Try the software. You have 30 days, no questions asked, money back guarantee. What does that mean? Try it for a day. Try it for 28 days. You have zero risk and $0 spent, because if you don't like it, you get a complete and utter refund. By the way, on a go forward basis, you can cancel at any time. You're not locked to anything. You can cancel whenever you want. Okay. So links down there. And by the way, there's live coaching every single week in the members area. So go check it out. I'll see you. Peace. Bye.